10 countries with the highest crime rates in the world. Number 10. Syria. Because Syria's security situation is worsening, extreme violence has persisted. Car bombings happen at unexpected times, killing many people and injuring many more. Airports in Damascus and Aleppo can close suddenly and without warning, resulting in flight cancellations and aircraft grounding. Checkpoints can obstruct or prevent passengers from entering airports. If you are currently in Syria or plan to visit, use extreme caution at all times. Number 9. El Salvador. The country continues to have one of the highest crime rates in the world. Extortion is also a popular and profitable criminal enterprise in El Salvador, and it is one of the most common crimes committed there. The majority of social violence in El Salvador is committed by the country's two most powerful gangs. There are approximately 24,970 gang members, 9,100 inmates, and approximately 59,000 young people in the country's juvenile gangs. The gangs are still able to communicate with drug dealers. There have been territorial disputes between drug trafficking gangs. Furthermore, El Salvador's high unemployment and low earnings have forced families to relocate to impoverished areas where violence is rampant. Number 8. Guyana. Criminals frequently use firearms in Guyana, despite a strong licensed regulation prohibiting regular residents from purchasing them. The most commonly used weapons are handguns, scissors, machetes, and daggers. Armed theft is common, especially in businesses and shopping malls, and it frequently includes the theft of goods. Guyana faces significant difficulties in maintaining its territorial integrity. Domestic violence is a widespread problem, particularly spousal abuse, which affects both men and women. Drug trafficking is a serious problem in Guyana, and it endangers law enforcement. Number 7. Brazil. Brazil, one of the most beautiful countries in the world, is also a potentially dangerous touring destination. Rioting, robbery, and kidnapping are all prevalent in the country. In exchange for a quick payoff, a person can be kidnapped. In a short period of time, the abductee would be forced to withdraw money from an ATM and then released. Brazil has the world's 7th highest crime rate, owing to the country's extremely high percentage of violence. The country's targeted homicide rates place it among the top 10 most violent countries. Number 6. Trinidad and Tobago. A number of factors complicate the fight against violence in Trinidad and Tobago, including drugs, economic collapse, and overstretched legal systems. There is also a sizable market for illegal weapons, which fuel the drug trade and the activities of criminal gangs. Foreigners are most likely to be killed in the majority of crimes committed in Trinidad and Tobago. Their homes are being broken into. They are mostly robbery victims who have been defrauded in their hotel rooms. Number 5. Honduras. Honduras is one of the world's most miserable countries because of widespread corruption and assassination attempts throughout the land. The country is becoming increasingly concerned about violent crime. Aside from the high rate of petty crime, pedestrians and commuters are equally vulnerable. Armed robbers also target tourists. Honduras's peak year for violent crime was 2012, when there were nearly 20 murders per day. Number 4. Afghanistan. Everyone in Afghanistan is at high risk of kidnapping, illness, or death. Weapons of various grades are easily imported into the country from all over the world. This is because of the ongoing civil unrest. Landmines seriously harm millions of people who live in rural areas. Land travel is extremely dangerous. Armed attacks and ambushes are common. The Taliban factor and widespread unemployment drive the majority of these crimes. Number 3. South Africa. South Africa has the world's 3rd highest crime rate. Robberies, murders, and other violent crimes are disproportionately common in South Africa. This is due to widespread poverty, hardship, unemployment, social isolation, and uniformity of crime. But visitors to major tourist areas are often at low risk of becoming victims of violent crime. The South African government prioritizes visitor protection and tourism police in a number of towns and cities. Number 2. Papua New Guinea. The crime rate in the country is extremely high. Criminal data is difficult to obtain. Criminals in Papua New Guinea primarily target visitors from Western countries because they are perceived to be wealthy. Security personnel frequently aid and abet these illegal activities. It is also critical to consider the impact of crime on business operations. Furthermore, Papua New Guinea's geographic location makes it a desirable location for the opium trade and human trafficking. Number 1. Venezuela. Venezuela has the highest number of violent fatalities in the world. The capital, Caracas, as well as the interior, are plagued by violent crime, and foreigners are a target. Venezuela is seeing an increase in violent and minor crimes as a result of the country's changing political climate. Venezuela has the highest crime rate of any country in the world, making it the most dangerous. The recent economic downturn has resulted in an increase in homicides, armed attacks, and kidnappings.